What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jazz bringing you a Gigavise deck profile for Edison format. Um, my build is quite a bit different than the one you would regularly see. Obviously, shout out to Magical Mullet for winning the most recent Retro Reborn with Gigavise. His build is fantastic. It with the Reckless Greens and Gold Sarks. I wasn't a big fan of that particular engine, so I went a different route. I'm sporting about a 75 to 80% win rate on with this between locals and online. I think both builds have a ton of merit. I'm not going to say one is better than the other. I think if you get enough practice with a deck like this, the ceiling is pretty much uncapped, and then your tech choices are will ultimately determine your success and your skill with those tech choices. But let's get into it. This is my version. I call it Forbidden Vise. I'll kind of explain why at the end of the deck profile and kind of go over some of the interactions and some of my choices. So to start, you've got your regular Gigavise engine, your Titanial, your Gigas, your Lone Fires. This is the MVP of my deck, obviously. Dandelion, the biggest difference you'll see in mine as I built the deck to play through this card instead of through Lone Fire. Obviously, this leads to Lone Fire, but that was the biggest interaction that I wanted to have happen. I didn't want to rely on spell cards to get to it. I didn't like Gold Sark DDR. The 3-card combo to make that work is Gold Sark DDR plus a discard. This card plus getting this card in graveyard plus SSN just nets inherently more advantage without having to just take a hard -1 in your hand. And there's several different ways in here to get this in the graveyard consistently and get a lot more value out of it, which is why I built it to play through this instead of just this. The 1 copy plant and nettles. I know most people nowadays are on 2. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here. 2 is totally fine. 1 is fine. It's what I've been on forever. Especially after I played a few hundred games with a build similar to Magical Mullets. I've gone through several different iterations of that particular build, and it just didn't have the play style that I like, and that's how I ended up on this. You'll see here. I play 2 little mini sub engines. I play your hero package, Plasma, Alias, and Stratos, and then quick draw. So 2 quick draws and a debris. I felt like the deck needed some alternative win conditions and good normal summons in the deck should it start to get burnt out. The next card, you'll see why these cards in particular right here are extremely interactive in the deck and why I call it Forbidden Vise. But having access to Drill Warrior, Black Rose on demand, and Plasma just for some alternative win conditions has been massively successful for me in particular. And then I think the most skillful card and out there card in my deck is 2 Exodius. The way this card interacts with the deck is insane. I'll go over it more after the entire deck profile. This is the second best card in the deck because of how I built it. The triple super solar nutrient. I was the biggest hater on this card ever. At one point, I was like, don't play this card, it's bad. And now that I've built the deck to really just utilize this card to its maximum potential, I'm in love with it. Play 3, don't side 1 out ever. Your 3 hidden armories. I play this card a lot more passive than most. I don't just shotgun this card to get stuff out of the deck, especially because I don't play Gold Sark. So I play this as more of a recursion and searching a combo piece when I need it rather than shotgunning it and holding it. There are niche situations where I'll use this to hopefully mill a monster for Exodius, but those are few and far between. 2 Miracle Fertilizers. This is my least favorite card in the deck, even though it's one of the best spells. 2 is totally fine. 3 is too much. Obviously, the Bryal combo. This also pairs really well with this for several different reasons, actually, that we'll get into after. Then kind of your sweepers. You got your Heavy Storm and your Giant Trunade. I do main the Typhoon. This can go into the side. This is more, I main this more just because locals, people tend to play way more like Royal Oppressions and stuff in their main deck and really weird interactions with stuff like Scrubbed Raid and stuff that one of our players plays. So having it in the main deck has just become mandatory for me just to interact with those cards more often. I play 6 equips, 3 supervisor, 2 marks, and 1 DDR. If you're not playing the Gold Sark build, I don't think you need 2 DDR. I used to side out 1 anyway. Plays way better into bottomless, obviously, but it's not super needed. Your power one-ofs, obviously your Foolish and your Future Fusion. Exodius plus Future Fusion creates some really, really crazy game states. And he ends up being able to like punch for game in a lot of circumstances. So I think this card is just crazy in general. Any deck that can't play it in Edison should. I'm on 1 reinforcement of the army. It's neither good nor bad. It's probably just going to get cut. I liked the ability to search Stratos because Stratos plus Exodius and any card in the graveyard just equals instant is plasma at will. 2 mirror a mirror force, a torrential, and 2 trap stuns. I feel those are pretty self-explanatory. And now we'll get into the extra deck real quick. Nothing super special here. 1 Black Brute Drago, 2 Stardust, Colossal, Black Rose, Goyo, Brio, Double Power Tool, Cataster, Armory Arm. I'm on Junk Archer as my second Quick Draw Synchron target. It has never been summoned. I don't know if it ever will. I took out Red Dragon Archfiend for this, and now it might be coming back in. I still might leave Junk Archer in, though, because I might cut a card later. Drill Warrior, Gaia, and this is the card that I might just drop to my side deck to bring back in Red Dragon Archfiend. Obviously, it's almost useless game 1, so I would rather just dump it in the side deck and play something that I can go into more often and still have the option of this for removal if I need it. And then quick side deck, and then we'll get into some of the interactions in the deck. My side is built more for locals with a few personal choices just because of how I built the deck. Because Exodius is just a free tribute monster, I ended up on 2 Genzos. This just answers Blackwings, Vayu, Turbo, or Nitro Vayu, all those kinds of decks. Even like stuff like Machina and Geartown, because they play a bunch of compulses and stuff, which just answer Gigaplant. Being able to summon Exodius, dump a Dandelion, and just summon Jinzo has taken some of the fun combos in this deck to a completely different level. 2 Book of Moons, I don't think that needs any explanation. This card's crazy. Kaiku's building the deck the way that I have and the play style that I have. My normal summons are very open, and I like really good normals. Double Breaker, 2 Crows. This card is kind of falling out of favor with me. I don't think it's a good card, but it just doesn't do enough in some circumstances. Might cut it down to 1 later, but for now 2 is fine. Double Nobleman. This is just a locals call. There's been a lot of weird flip effect monsters coming up recently that I just don't like dealing with. Because of my build, I would probably turn this into 2 Caius. 2 Cyber Dragons, obviously. And then this is just a meme call for locals, and just because I think it would be funny to resolve. It's never happened yet. A Ceasefire, because in a deck like Gigavise where you can put up 5 effect monsters and your opponent has to answer it with a bunch of their own, this card, if you resolve it, is most likely going to deal over 3,000 damage, which can put your opponent in some really awkward situations, if not outright kill them. So I just wanted to put this in for fun. Never resolved it, but it's been a fun thing to just like shotgun on the side occasionally. But let's get more into this card here. So I think this is the most underrated card in Edison, and I didn't realize how good this was until I was like, how do I get Dandelion in the graveyard more? And this card just says dump Dandelion from anywhere. The initial reason for this card was the Dandelion and the fact that there were awkward occasions where an opponent would break the board, and Gigavise really struggles to recover from stuff like Vayu breaking the board unless they have like Miracle Furt plus Supervise. And so I was like, what if I just reset the combo? How do I do that? So if I just summon Miracle for bring back Lone Fire, summon Exodius, shuffle everything back into the deck, I can go through an entire combo all over again. Because you can recycle Power Tool Dragons, Black Rose Dragons, Black Root Dragos if they out it for somehow, your Gigaplants, your Titanials. So you're not locked into just putting stuff in the graveyard. And it's a summoning condition, so your opponent cannot DD Crow what this card is shuffling back. So some of the cool interactions with this card, kind of like you've briefly heard me say, is going to be stuff like Exodius into Plasma. There's a lot of times if you're just kind of playing, you and your opponent are staring at each other, you summon this, attack with it, dump a Dandelion, and you just drop Plasma by sacrificing the Exodius plus the tokens. A lot of times this interaction comes up going against Gores, where I will hold this in my hand and I'll attack with like Titanial, get them down pretty low, build like a half board, because sometimes just going balls to the walls doesn't win you the game. I very much will build half boards a lot of the time unless I'm fairly confident I'm going to win on the spot. And then main phase 2, I'll summon this, or excuse me, I'll attack with this and the Titanial, and then they'll drop the Gores on the Titanial after this is dumped the Dandelion token. Then I'll just drop the Plasma and take their Gores. And then that puts them in a situation where they can not only not target at all, but they also have to deal with like a huge Plasma. And trying to do that, well, you've got a lot of interaction on the board in general with Gigaplant, Stardust, Titanial, etc., is really, really difficult for people to do and almost outright wins games. The other thing that this is really good with is Miracle Furt. So if you're kind of running low, if you're kind of starting slow, and let's say you have like a Nettles but no Super Solar Nutrient and the Nettles gets destroyed by battle, you summon this, attack with it. Sure, you might take some damage, but you dump your Lone Fire Blossom. Then main phase 2, you Miracle Furt, bring back the Lone Fire, and you can do your entire combo if you want to. That comes up not as often as you would think it does, but it does come up. Another fun interaction is with Debris Dragon. Because there's been times I've summoned Exodius, attacked with it, dumped Dandelion, gone in with Quick Draw, or sacrificed this for Quick Draw, gone into Drill Warrior, discarded a card, obviously to send Drill Warrior's main phase 2, add this back, or standby phase, add this back, bring back the Drill Warrior, summon rebanish the Drill Warrior, summon this, Black Rose the board, get tokens, Super Solar, do combo, standby, Drill Warrior come back, bring this back again. So I just have a constant recursion of Black Rose Dragon going on here. So, and I think the skill gap in this particular build is how and when you utilize this card. The majority of the time for me, this is going to be used to dump Dandelion to summon stuff like Plasma, dump Lone Fire. I've dumped Gigaplants with this. I've dumped Aliases with this to give it more attack points to swing for game. This card has so many interactions with it. It's absolutely insane, especially along stuff like Future Fusion, where if you summon Exodius, let's just say you need 3,000 damage for game. You summon the Exodius, you activate Future Fusion, dump Gigaplant Alias, attack with this, dump your last Gigaplant, and that's 3,000 for game. So there's just so much to do here. You can do Quick Draw plus any monster, discard the monster with Quick Draw, summon Exodius, attack with Exodius, dump Dandelion, synchro to Drill Warrior, and just start recurring from there. And that way you have alternative win conditions and recursions that normal Gigavise just does not have. And that is one of the reasons I've liked this version of the deck so much, is there's just so many more plays in general that allow you to interact with the opponent way more and give you more big plays and mid game, which Gigavise definitely lacks. It goes from glass cannon to a very legitimately good combo deck that has a solid, not perfect, but solid mid game and lots of different ways to accomplish what it wants to get done rather than just trying to force your way to Lone Fire Blossom. But that's my deck. Hope you guys enjoy and have a good one.